This is a world where money has no value. Time is everything. If you want to buy something, you have to pay for it with a portion of your life. The more time you have, the better life you can live. Once a person turns 25, a digital clock starts counting down on their arm. They get 1 year of time to live. The moment that countdown hits 0, that person dies instantly.
The rich have so much time that they can live for thousands of years. They've built a separate world for themselves, where they live in peace and luxury. On the other hand, people living in the ghettos struggle every single day, working endlessly just to earn a few more hours of life. Because if they stop, their time runs out, and so do they.
In one of these poor neighborhoods lives a young man named Will. He has only 23 hours left on his clock. Will lives with his mother. Since everyone stops aging after turning 25, his mother, though 50 years old, still looks young. It's her 50th birthday today. To celebrate, Will worked overtime the night before and bought her a bottle of champagne. Seeing this, his mother becomes very happy and tells him that she wishes to see her grandchildren someday. She asks why he doesn't date any girl, to which Will replies, "Who has time for that?"
His mother then reminds him that the electricity bill and the bank loan must be cleared by tomorrow, or they'll face heavy fines. She says she's going out to take care of it and will return by tomorrow night after paying all the bills. But she also mentions that she only has 3 days worth of time left, and most of it will be spent just paying off their debts.
In the evening, Will's mother tells him, "Make sure you wait for me at the bus stop tonight. Before my time runs out completely, I want to borrow some from you." Will replies, "Okay, I'll be there on time." Before leaving, his mother touches Will's hand and transfers 30 minutes of her time to him so that he can buy himself a good breakfast. After that, both of them head off to their respective jobs.
On his way, a little girl approaches Will and gives him a capsule, asking for a small portion of his time. Smiling, Will transfers 5 minutes of his life into the capsule and gives it to her. She walks away happily. Here, we learn that people in this world can store time inside capsules, allowing them to save or transfer it whenever they want. Later, Will reaches the factory where he works. Before starting his shift, he stops to buy a cup of coffee, but to his shock, he sees that the prices have doubled overnight. A coffee that used to cost 2 minutes now costs 4. Prices can go up any time, without any warning or announcement, and that really frustrates Will. Still, he reluctantly pays 4 minutes of his life for the coffee and starts working.
After a long day at the factory, Will goes to a bar at night with his friend. His friend is a heavy drinker, always lost in alcohol. Pointing across the bar, the friend tells Will, "That guy over there is buying drinks for everyone. He's got a lot of time." When Will looks toward him, he sees the man surrounded by women, laughing and drinking. Then his eyes fall on the man's glowing time counter. It shows 116 years left. Seeing that, Will immediately realizes the man must be from Greenwich City, because people from the ghetto could never have that much time.
In Will's part of the city, most people barely have 2 days of time left to live. When Will saw the rich man sitting at the bar, he went up to him and warned, "You shouldn't be here. This place is dangerous. Thieves here will kill you just to steal your time. You need to leave immediately." But the man ignored Will's warning and continued drinking. A few moments later, a notorious gangster named Fortis entered the bar with his gang. The moment people saw him, they panicked and rushed out of the place. Fortis and his men were infamous for robbing people of their time, literally stealing their lives away.
Will's friend tried to pull him outside, but Will refused to leave. He hid in a dark corner, watching everything unfold. Fortis approached the rich man and challenged him to a time fight. It was like an arm wrestling match. Both participants would grip each other's wrists. Whoever's hand was forced down would start losing time, which would transfer into the winner's body. The loser's clock would kick faster and faster until it reached 0, and then he would die. Fortis said, "Let's play. Whoever loses gives all his time to the winner." The rich man replied weakly, "I've had too much to drink. I need a little time to recover before I accept your challenge." Fortis smirked and said, "Fine, that'll be your last wish. I'll give you a few minutes to get ready."
Then he sent one of his men to guard the rich man so he couldn't run away.
The rich man stumbled into the restroom, vomiting heavily, clearly drunk and weak. If he had gone through with the fight in that state, his defeat was certain. That's when Will appeared. He attacked Fortis's guard, knocking him out, and quickly helped the rich man escape. Will took him to a safe place away from the gang and said, "I told you your life was in danger. Why are you wasting your time, literally your life, like this?"
The man tells Will that his name is Henry, and then asks, "How old are you?" Will replies, "I'm 28. Henry smiles faintly and says, "I'm 105 years old. I've lived long enough, and honestly, I'm tired of life. I've enjoyed everything. Wealth, pleasure, luxury, every experience possible. There's nothing left that I want. I don't need this life anymore. I don't want to keep living." Hearing this, Will looks at him in shock and confusion and asks, "What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say?"
Henry looked at Will and said, "It seems you still don't know the truth. Have you ever wondered why there are different time zones in this world? Why is it that in your ghetto time zone, prices and taxes can suddenly rise at any moment? The truth is, inflation is deliberately created so that poor people keep dying and the rich in the Greenwich time zone keep benefiting from their deaths. This entire system was designed by them." He continued, "Think about it. In Greenwich, people have thousands of years to live. But here in the ghetto, you people struggle every single day just to earn a few more hours of life. It's not by chance, it's by design. They don't want to give you more time. They want to keep you desperate so you'll keep working for them. By constantly raising prices, they force you to spend more of your time so that they can live forever. Every single day of their lives is built on the deaths of the poor." Henry paused, his voice filled with emotion, and said, "I don't want to live a life that's been bought with someone else's suffering, with the death of innocent, helpless people." Hearing this, Will finally understood that Henry wasn't just rich, he was a deeply kind and moral man. Henry then looked at Will and asked softly, "If you had as much time as I do, what would you do with it?" Will smiled and said, "The first thing I'd do is stop constantly checking my time." Even as he said that, he only had 18 hours left on his clock. Every morning when he woke up, while eating, before going to bed, he always kept his eyes on his wrist, afraid that his time might run out and he'd die any moment. He continued, "My mom works so hard just to keep our home running. If I had as much time as you do, I'd buy her a beautiful house in Greenwich City, and the two of us would finally live a happy, peaceful life." After that, Will told Henry, "We'll have to stay here tonight. By morning, the danger will be gone. Then you can go back home safely." The two of them fell asleep. The next morning, Henry woke up early and saw Will still sleeping.
Quietly, he walked up to him and transferred all of his remaining time to Will, keeping only a few minutes for himself. Then, Henry left and walked to a nearby bridge. When Will woke up, Henry was gone. As usual, he glanced at his clock and froze. His time had increased by 116 years. For a moment, he thought he was dreaming. Then he noticed a message written on the window.
"Don't waste my time." That's when Will realized what had happened. Henry had given him all of his time. He rushed outside and spotted Henry sitting on the edge of a bridge in the distance. Will ran toward him as fast as he could, but it was too late. Henry had only a few seconds left. A moment later, his clock hit 0, and with a single shudder, he fell from the bridge into the water below. Will was heartbroken. He couldn't believe that Henry, a man so kind and wise, was gone. Now, Will had 116 years of life, but he also knew he couldn't stay in the ghetto. If people saw his time, they'd think he was the one who killed Henry. Worse, someone might try to murder him to steal it.
So, he went to see his best friend one last time. When his friend saw the glowing years on Will's arm, he was stunned. Out of friendship and gratitude, Will transferred 10 years of his time to him. His friend thanked him with tears in his eyes. Will then said, It's no longer safe for me to stay here. With this much time on my clock, anyone could kill me for it.
Then, to see what Will did with his time, you will have to wait for the next part. So those of you who are still subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, and don't forget to like the next part. It's coming very soon, so everyone support and share the video.